Okay, we have, we're returning to our open session. Just a couple of things. We have at the end of tonight's meeting, before we adjourn, a segment where someone from the audience, if you have a question or comment, as long as it's not yelling, name calling, as long as you can do it in a constructive way, you'll have that opportunity. So I would ask that during the meeting, that you would refrain from giving outbursts.
So we want to order, they can't speak inside of the meeting. It has to be after the adjournment. It has to.
After the adjournment.
So I'm going to amend the agenda.
Agenda is so amended. Okay, we're reading the attendance, so, approve minutes.
All right, we have a plethora of minutes.
I make a motion to approve the May, June, and July minutes as written.
Okay, we have approved the minutes, but they are being corrected. We need to make a correction on the document review committee. Let's go on to the reported that Bob Garrison has resigned, and in fact, it was Bob McMahon. I move that we accept the May correction to the May minutes. That's read.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Okay, you want to continue?
I make a motion that we approve the June and July minutes as written.
Not August?
Not yet. We haven't happened yet.
All right, I'll second it. That's read.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Officer reports. Oh, further, more minutes?
Yeah, we did. No, it is, I think you approved, right? But we didn't get August 12th.
I know, I didn't notice one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Move to approve August 12th.
I second it.
All in favor of August 12th minutes?
Aye.
Any opposed? Just one announcement, we do have one more board member who, tonight is not in compliance, and he's sitting on the board, with a back forward for the next meeting, but he will not be able to participate in the discussion or vote. Other thing that we discussed in the executive session is compensation for our, office manager, Robert, and that did pass.
Did you hear that, Robert?
That's a big thumbs up.
Okay, my report will be brief because we have a lengthy agenda. Once again, last month has been chaotic as emotions have been running high. A town hall meeting regarding dredging was held on August 5th, followed by a special open board meeting on August 12th. By a vote of 6-3, the board voted to approve the Brunswick dredging contract. Details of this will be forthcoming in the possibly financial report and the amenities. On a lighter note, the Little Free Library has been installed with a kickoff on July 26th. A team of volunteers will continue to maintain it. It is conveniently located right outside the office, so you can easily stop by on your way into the community. And I want to thank you again for coming to these meetings and staying engaged. We may not always agree, but we're all in this together and we move forward. Thank you. Stan, Secretary.
We continue preparations for the annual meeting. The nomination committee will present their report later. Is this the right one? Yeah, that was the wrong sentence. I'm reading the wrong copy. But it's gotta be close. Those that were submitted, let's see, August 1st was the deadline for all bylaw changes. Those that were submitted were
There's no
presented to the
sound.
legal committee in consultation with the board of attorneys. Document review committee has submitted a substantial number of proposals, including covenant 26. All documents for the annual meeting must be submitted in their final form by September the 24th, and that's for all mainly board members who have things that go into the annual packet. We are expecting a large number of documents in the annual packet. We need time to accurately assemble all the information included in the mailing. The 2025 election calendar is, I'm sorry, I don't have a visual for you, but the board members should be aware of this if you're reading along with me. Wednesday, September the 24th, all documents are due for the meeting packet. Tuesday, September the 30th, the election committee meeting for packet assembly. Wednesday, October 1st, mail the annual meeting packets. So you should receive the packets sometime in the first week of August, assuming that they don't have to go to Charleston. What did I say? I'm in a hurry to get everything done. Wednesday, November the 5th, proxy votes are due by 3 p.m. By policy, it has to be 10 days before the meeting. The meeting is November the 15th, so therefore proxies at 3 o'clock are due. Late proxies are not counted. Tuesday, November the 11th, the election committee meeting for the proxy processing. Easy for me to say, right? We prepare all of the proxies for the counting in the annual election, which is Saturday, November the 15th, with the annual meeting in Windsor Auditorium. Doors open at 9:30. They close at 10 o'clock. If you're not online or not in the building, you're not allowed in at that point. Due to the large number of candidates and bylaw proposals, we are recruiting a large election committee that will include at least 15 counters for 5 3-member counting teams. On that, we have 15, which I will read for in just a second. I will now nominate Mary Sasso, assisted by Peggy Phillips, as the Inspector of Elections.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I nominate Sharon Benford, Don Brochures, Neil Brochures, Deborah Cocaine, Alan Cooper, Gary Dreyer, Inga Ebert, Stephanie Hansen, Charlene Hempel, Todd Hempel, Karen Lucido, Nina McMahon, Carol McRae, Nikki Nadeau, Janet Ransom, and John Sassos as members of the 2025 election committee.
Second motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, the only thing I would add is off of my script is if there are other people in the room that would like to be part of the counting teams, we have to have 3 members. It'd be nice to have 6 instead of 5. Mary and Peggy are, hoping to have plenty of counters so that the meeting isn't as long as it could be. So if you're interested, please get word to me or through to Robert in the office. Thank you, and the report.
Jonathan.
Okay, so you have a monthly update for July for investments, accounts, and spectrum. And I've got to give you the 25 and 25 revised budget, the 26 recommendations, the 17 footnotes. You also have your allocations, which I spread out for 2027, and spectrum. Here's my recommendation. This is a lot of information. I think the board, because of what's going on, and the issue with the reserves and how we spend our money and how we assess, we should meet within 2 weeks to go over this as a financial meeting only. The finance committee should be part of that, and the 4 major capital X committee should be part of that. Roads, drainage, water amenities, and canal. I think the group needs to sit down. I'll go through everything here. We need to discuss what looks like for 26, because I'm recommending no assessment as I have since June. I still hold to that. But I think there are issues that we need to discuss, and you have to make, there's allocations that have to be made. We haven't done that yet. Spectrum, we have a recommendation of the finance committee. We need to discuss that. And I think we need to hear from the 4 capital X committees, because I was talking with Gary's going to make a recommendation. I changed the budget and the allocations already today from Gary's recommendation. I think this is important here. We should sit in it as a committee of the whole to talk about finance. So I think within 2 weeks, we should meet, I'll put everything under the board and we should have a heart to heart. You gotta agree with the 25 revised. Already we have a revision tonight based upon our office manager's compensation. But there are other things going on. It changes almost daily because the finances here and the recommendations I get from talking to 4 major capital X committees. I mean, looking out, we have to make some things. And so you can't make it tonight. It's not possible to make it these kind of things in a very short setting. So I think within 2 weeks, we meet as a committee of the whole, which includes the finance committee and the 4 capital X committees. And you can set the time and the place and we'll, because this sets the tone going out almost to 27. All right, I have one more recommendation.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, yeah.
Is that for the?
We're going to definitely 2 weeks.
Okay, any discussion?
September the 2nd would be 2 weeks.
I won't move. Okay, that's later.
Oh,
I mean, it can be less than 2 weeks, I don't care. What do you want to do? Huh?
Labor Day's the first.
I'm gone to Colorado.
Second's good.
Second story.
Yeah, okay.
Let's do the second.
September 2nd.
All right.
All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed to September 2nd?
I got one announcement and one recommendation. We have a CD coming due tomorrow for 50,000, 3-month CD. I'm going to recommend this. We have 166,000 in the operating account. A good portion of that money came from the marina where we did some work and we upfronted the money and now we got paid back from the reserve. What I'm recommending the board that we take 70,000 out of the 166, that will leave about 96,000. To give you an idea, at 16,000 a month, they did the 6-month operating into the next calendar year, we're okay. So 70,000 out, combine it with the 50 due tomorrow at 120,000 for only 3 months, and that's at 4.35 at Edward Jones. Operating account. 166 will go down to 96, and that, to give you an idea, so 96, just to give you an idea, 96 divided by 16 gives us 6 months. That covers, so right?
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Is it 50 to 48,000 that came out of Edward Jones as part of 115,
Not yet,
and 67 of it went to the bank?
not yet. It came, what I'm pointing out to you, that 54 is going to go up into the Edward Jones money market. It happened after July 29th.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the issue. I just want to make a note so you know.
okay, so that's for a vote. Everybody, in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No.
And one other thing, although Robert really is a great asset, and Peggy is too, they're overwhelmed. And quite frankly, we need a bookkeeper. So I'm in the process of, feelers are out for a bookkeeper, and we're also looking for a CPA. The work it's overwhelming. I'm not here to be a forensic accountant. We need people in there, professional, to do the bank reconciliations that we want and get ready for the audit of 2024. That's it.
Is that to replace Joan Lodges or Hodges or
She
whatever?
left, she retired.
Yeah, what I'm saying, is that what you're asking, is a replacement for her?
But we need
And
to,
I think we need to do that yesterday.
we do, I mean, you have to understand, not the board people, but the QuickBooks program, I complained loud and clear, was changed in the middle of last year. We went from QuickBooks Pro to QuickBooks Online. Online is a bad program, so we need somebody to come in here. Robert doesn't have the time, and I'm not gonna, I just don't want to spend the time, quite frankly. And then we need somebody to get in there, look at the reconciliations, make the proper, account, items, make sure they're correct in the sub accounts, and then we're ready for the 2024 audit. Robert has actually, we reconciled the total operating account for 2020. So we're really close to where we should be. But you need a bookkeeper here once a month, to do the kind of things that Robert shouldn't be doing. He doesn't have time for it.
To do what,
Yeah.
Second question, follow up to that, end of the year. If it needed, now would be the time to start.
Well, that's what we're doing.
Is Kelly Moore still on?
Well, here's a dirty little secret, folks. When I mention and go out to people and say, will you do it on it and help us for a budget? They say, not a chance. We don't have a good reputation, folks. Just tell you like it is, and I'm not.
But is Kelly still, or is?
No, they turned it down. I've had 3-4 turn downs because they don't want to deal with us. So we're gonna have to either go to Charleston or further out, but we got feelers out, and I think we'll have somebody.
Didn't we have one with,
Yeah, but they, the same thing. We don't have a good reputation for them.
All right, moving on.
But we're okay.
Okay, my art report is very brief. The architectural review committee had 6 new applications for minor changes, all have been approved. And there was a final inspection to be approved. And I want to thank all the residents who do comply with our policies. Thank you. Next is, communications.
So, the communications committee is looking, on the RAG at this time. We plan to email the RAG to after September 2nd. Our copies will be made available in the office upon request. We have gold stars available to all those people who email their articles to us without me bugging you. There's like 2 people who I would like articles from, but, I've had until about 2 more days before we have to get those in. Food Truck Tuesday, we'll start back September 9th. Stephanie Hansen is our POC for that. Our committee has reviewed the communication policies and sent our recommendations to legal for review to review prior to the first and second readings that are necessary for any policy change. And then we're excited to let you know that in October 11th, at 12 p.m., we're planning to do a sweet and savory cook-off. And that's gonna be a rib on the chili cook-off. You can either enter a savory dish like chicken or chicken perlo, or you can enter a sweet like pound cake or pie. We'll have a winner in each category. We'll do the location over there on lot 5A. Stephanie Hansen is gonna be the POC for this as well, since I'm gonna be out of town for about 3 weeks. If you'd like to enter in this cook-off, please sign up in advance. You can just send us an email here at the office, or you can call the office. One more job for Robert. And so,
Question for you.
excuse me?
Question for you.
Yes, sir.
For the cook-off. How big of a serving to serve, how many people should, people look at making, if
So what-
they're entering?
So what we did last time the chili cook-off, we brought a crock pot. So, and I'll let you know, my husband and I both competed against each other. He won by 1 vote. I had to wash dishes for him, okay? Not happy. I think he rigged it. So we just brought like a crock pot. And so we decided instead of doing just chili, we do it chili or fries, it's not fries. And my mama always served pound cake with her desserts, so we know we do both. Any other questions or anything? We'll have prizes, probably a gift certificate from the pub. We're gonna have music, and we'll have to bring your own chairs, some people bring a table, so we've got that going. So we're planning other activities, we don't have dates yet, blood drive, of course, we'll sign up for Toys for Tots. A little bit early to talk about it, but eventually we have to talk about holiday activities, but we'll have to do that in conjunction with landscaping, PPE. But we'll talk about that later. Finances, to date, communications has spent a total of $3,831.28. And we have a little over 1,000 remaining in our budget to get us through the remainder of the year. Oh, welcome committee. welcoming the report at this time.
Okay.
We have some names, we're contacting people first, but we just want to be good bags out there, we gotta contact people first.
Plans?
Compliance, the committee arranged for lot 65 to be bush hog at the owner's expense. Early in my report.
Okay, next. Inga?
Yes.
The Western Village Association had their annual meeting yesterday, and they asked me to present the following report. We, the members of the WPA, appreciate that action is finally being taken on a much-needed drainage remediation, including the dredging of the canal. These issues have been present for far too long, and it's encouraging to see that steps are now being scheduled to address them. We expect the planned corrective action, including the repair and maintenance of the stormwater drainage along Daniel Morale and Rex Ferry roads, to move forward without delay and be completed in a timely manner. Furthermore, we are encouraged that members of this board have acknowledged the clear need for paving improvements on Rex Ferry, Daniel Morale, Pool Place, and Redfield Village roads. These repairs are long overdue, and we expect full support from the board to ensure they are promptly completed. In closing, we are pleased that the President has publicly expressed her support for this area in our community. We also urge her to demonstrate full commitment to all common area maintenance, including roads and drainage systems such as canals. By focusing on the most pressing needs throughout the entire community, this board has an opportunity to restore trust and foster unity among the membership. The community expects and deserves this level of cooperation and leadership. Thank you. End of report.
Thank you, Inga. Document review, Al?
We'll stand over here.
Sure.
Each of you has received, each of the board members have received a copy of the code of conduct proposal and the social media proposal, I assume. So I'll start my report. The document review committee report for August 19, 2025 monthly board meeting. The attached documents, which you have, were prepared at request by the legal committee. The proposed code of conduct was drafted to replace the current code of ethics, conflict of interest statement, and the confidentiality agreement, which all board members are required to sign now. It is based upon the State of South Carolina Nonprofit Corporation Act Title 33, Chapter 31. It clarifies the responsibility of board and committee members. It also provides for a specific method for remediation or removal of individuals from their positions when violations are brought to the board attention. The second part of this is the social media policy. The following proposed social media policy applies to all public and private social media platforms when board members or committee members are identified as or are reasonably identifiable as board or committee members of Westfield Plantation Association. Official HOA communications to the Westfield Plantation Bulletin Board on Facebook provides specific guidelines for posting. The personal social media suggestions portion of the proposed social media policy defines specific limitations on postings by board or committee members on personal sites. Board members and committee members are free to use personal media accounts for personal purposes. However, they must exercise caution and good judgment, recognizing that their role as a board or committee member may influence how their posts are perceived by the community. These documents have been reviewed by the legal committee and the board attorney, but are not finalized. After the first reading of the proposed policies, the board should discuss and modify as necessary. End of report. Respectfully.
Drainage?
Last Tuesday's special meeting, the WPA approved.
Good job,
You're getting a sinkhole repair on Daniel Morale Lane. Private will include a repair to 3 separate drain boxes and approximately 200 feet of pipe. This will also include cleaning out the outflow corner of the retention pond and the surrounding storm drain boxes. So We're also planning to reestablish a swale to relieve runoff from Routes 3 and 5. Future work will include repaving parts of that roadway to facilitate proper drainage. I'm currently waiting on the contract from Low Country Grounds to submit for legal review. I actually have one, so I'll get the contract tonight. Work will begin this week to enhance the swale on lot 496 on Francis Parker. This lot received a significant flow of water from Mansfield, and the builders did not correctly execute the revised drainage plan, so remediation is necessary to remove standing water from the subject lot and the neighboring property. WPA funds will not be used in this project, but rather a portion of the builder's deposit per the ARC. Georgetown's gotten over 11.
Here.
Georgetown's gotten over 11 inches of rain just this month.
So you just got something.
Including extension.
Guys, you're right under my microphone.
Go ahead, you can continue.
Georgetown's gotten over 11 inches of rain so far this month. Clemson Extension website has some good articles on rain gardens, rainwater harvesting. These articles have some helpful information on how to manage water from the torrential rains we've seen recently. The links for this information will be included in the forthcoming drag and available on the website, hopefully later tonight after I talk about it. Includes my report.
Thank you.
No, I think I covered out, I do have one recommendation for the board, we have a resignation from the committee. So I'm recommending that we replace that slot with Adam. Mr. Minion.
I second the nomination.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
You don't have enough to do, huh?
Okay, is your career?
She says to me.
Oh. Do you have any?
Oh, yes, I do. All right, I'm asking the board to allow me to retain a tax attorney. I want to make sure that under Title 33, Chapter 31 of the Nonprofit South Carolina statutes and IRS 528, which is in our bylaw, that we are in compliance as when we run a profit-making enterprise. And we need a tax attorney. Joe is not a tax attorney. And we need to have one so I can give the best advice to the board on this issue as we go forward. Because there are going to be some other discussions, I think, of profit-making venues for the association. So we need to get ahead of this. I don't expect it's going to be terrible on the way, but we need to help, let me hire that person. I'll get back to you. That's a motion. I want to hire a tax attorney not to exceed, let's say, $3,000.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Eileen. Oh, I'm
I do
sorry.
have one question for Johnson with that. If we do get to CPA, would we still require the tax attorney then, or?
Right, this is a separate issue.
Really? Eileen.
Hi, everybody. I'll stand here. The NOMCOM, as we're called, which is the nominating committee, Rob gave us that name, NOMCOM, had a lively and productive meeting. We had 100% in attendance. Members are, and a few are here, Donna Boshiers, Carol Cleary, Kim Dunn, Nancy Johnston, myself, and Marilyn Weiss. According to policy 6.02 in the Wedgefield Plantation Association Policy Manual, quote, at the August regular monthly meeting, the nominating chairperson shall submit the final report of the candidates to the board. There are 13 applicants for the 3 annual board positions. Their names are in alphabetical order. If you are here, please stand up when I call your name. William Condon Jr., Trina Davis, Mike Downs, Cindy Fry, David Garson, Leroy Leonard, Ellen Love, Bob Meltzer, Dan Menahane, Patrick Montgomery, Shirley Nilsson, Donna Reifenauer, and Nicholas Wainwright. These applications will be included in the RAG publication as well as the election ballot packets. There will be a Meet the Candidates night on Tuesday, October 7th, 2025, at the HOA office at 7 p.m. This event will also be live streamed. The committee is working very diligently to make every attempt for the event not to exceed 2 hours. Candidates will answer questions that will be submitted by the community and the committee. These questions will be chosen at random as we did last year. Please, community members, send questions via email to hoawedge@gmail.com or in person to the HOA. Deadline for questions is Thursday, September 18th. This event will be advertised through social media, website, email blast, e-sign, and everything else. Respectfully submitted, Eileen Kramer, nominating committee chairperson. And I just want to make one little plug for the little libraries out there that are located at the entrance of the plantation. One library, the smaller one, is filled with books from picture books for infants to adolescents. The other larger library is filled with books appropriate for grown-ups. There are many bestsellers in there and worth taking a look. You can take a book, keep a book, return a book, or add a book from your library. And if you have a lot of books at home that you don't know what to do with, Rob very nicely said that he would take those books, and bring them in here, we can use some of them for the library, and on Saturdays down in Georgetown, they have that book fair, and some of those books, Rob said he would take them down, so you don't know what to do with all your books. Most of these books have been donated directly from the Georgetown Library to you, and I strongly recommend you check it out. Thank you.
Thank you, Eileen.
I can add on to that part. There's a lot more books in my office at the house from the library that, you guys take all those, we'll put more in there. So please use it.
There are really some bestsellers in there that you have to go on a waiting list for. Anyway, that's it.
PP&E. Do you have a?
Yeah, I do have a
report?
Thanks to Brian Larimore for installing and replacing the e-sign. It looks great, and we're happy to have it up and running. Thanks to Marge Miller and Mitch Fry for troubleshooting the electrical problem affecting the fountain and sprinkler system. It appeared that this circuit had been hit by lightning. We were able to get the fountain and the front sprinkler system operating. The ground fault interrupters had all been tripped. But the big controller that for the 16 other zones, we had to call in Angel Oak to replace some electrical parts in the main sprinkler control. All is functional today. I'm really glad there's been enough rain the past few weeks to make up for the malfunction. End of the report.
Really scary.
I'd like to start off by making a motion that we add Ralph Reifenauer to the roads committee.
Second nomination.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We've identified 5 roadways that are in need of paving work in Whitefield. We originally received quotes from 2 vendors to do the work at the time, but then we realized that they weren't both quoting the same work, so we created a statement of work, and we sent that back out, and we've got quotes back from vendors. So the roads that we're talking about doing right now. They're, the cul-de-sacs, Hague Court, Jericho Court, John Wadey's Court, Governor Boone Lane, and King George Lane. Additionally, there's a patch on Francis Parker, where the golf carts cross over between 8 and 9 that, was repaired, but, it really needs to be resurfaced. And also we're gonna widen on John Wadey's Court, the inside of the cul-de-sac. You can see where people just drive inside all the time in the dirt, and so we're gonna widen that by a couple feet. So anyway, that's kind of the description of the work. The quotes we got one from King Asphalt, and that was for a total amount of $277,925. We also received a quote from Coastal Asphalt for $206,301 for the same work. Both vendors have done work recently in Wedgefield. We recommend that we approve the quote from Coastal to proceed with the paving work as defined for a total of $206,301, and ask for approval of up to $210,000 total to cover any incidental work outside of the scope of the current quotes. So I'm making a motion that we.
Give a second.
Second.
Discussion.
Where we sit.
So Gary and I passed, golf carts passed out on the table today. Gary and I had a long discussion. Yeah, I put, from that discussion, I put $210,000 into this year's allocation, which again, we'll talk about in the 2nd of September, but we're okay.
John Wadey's, does that include where that, column is?
Yeah.
We figured out where that water's coming from, where the coming is?
Not yet.
There's a big difference in price for using the same grade of asphalt.
Well, I think I can speak for part of it. King Asphalt is located in Myrtle Beach, so them coming down here, typically they are gonna just be higher because of that. So that's, he even told me that up front.
I was just looking at one using a cheaper grade of asphalt, and that way their price is cheaper, but I don't run it ain't gonna last as long. That's my only.
That was, you know, that kind of came up because on the original quote, they were doing, less of a fill, on the one from Coastal, and I created a statement of work that basically defined that it was 52 inches thick, so. And they came back and re-quoted based on that, and the price went up.
Adam?
Where are we, or where are you with scheduling, like, projects on the other side of the neighborhood? The reason I bring this up is we're gonna be cutting the road from Dean Morale, where we have to replace those storm boxes.
Yes.
And we're gonna need to fix that eventually. I mean, obviously, we can patch it, but that whole area, knowing that, you know, we talked about this before, but any drainage project also is gonna have a complementary road project. And we're really shore it all up. What's the timeline on that? How far out would that project be?
I would propose that we would look at doing those, next year. We also, you know, originally, one of the quotes came in and had Captain Anthony White on there. And after some discussion with, you know, Jonathan, and I think I briefly mentioned it with Stan, but there's a need for drainage there first, and you're aware of that. So I think what we need to look at is, you know, whether it's in this year's budget or next year's budget to do some drainage work there, that we do that. And then I think at the same time, that we look at doing, some work down by the condos. So next year would be a timeline for, you know, looking at the condos, Captain Anthony White, with the plan being that the next major projects down the road would be, Wedgefield and Ragsbury. So, but this is like a 5-year plan. This is not.
When would this particular project, when you're?
I've been told that it can, you know, that typically, the paving company starts slowing down towards the end of the year, that's when they have open time, and I've already discussed it with Coastal, and they said that they should be able to get to it easily by the end of the year.
And then President, excuse me, former, the key project I've been working on for a while was a little bit in conflict with Gary's proposal. And I find mine, half of it's under unfinished. Well, look, the rest of it's under new business. Yeah, may I at this time break away from one and wait for unfinished and new?
Yes,
Because mine was in conflict with yours.
okay.
And I just did not fight a decision made without knowing.
Yes.
So we need to table this one then, right?
I want
We can table just to,
to. Oh, no,
after, we're in the middle of the.
no, Gary should have a copy of this because it impacts several different committees. I've already headed up roads, I have headed up drainage and water amenities. And I know under drainage, we got some, oh, I'm sorry,
I'll take it.
In light of the drainage, and we've approved to fix drainage problems overall for Exbury, down around part to the Conway retention pond, Diamond Trail. I move that the board authorize the milling and paving of Dan Morrell, ensuring that the road is turtled back so the stormwater is directed to the side ditches from the sinkhole repair site already authorized to the right street intersection by original pavement to me. Further, I move that the necessary repairs to the intersection of Dan Morrell and Wrights Ferry to correct the failure to direct stormwater as originally designed, that they accelerated to coincide with already authorized drainage project. Further, I move that Wrights Ferry Road be milled and paved for proper stormwater drainage from 726 Wrights Ferry Road through lot 272 Wrights Ferry Road with the stated purpose of proper stormwater flow into the existing or to be restructured drainage system at that location. Further, I move that while the paving equipment is located in situ, that the School Place and Wedgefield Village roads be paved for egress and egress of traffic. Those look like crap. And I'm counting sinkholes. They're embarrassing. Those are our roads. Further, I move that the preceding action shall be completed before the annual meeting on November 19th, 2025. Further, I request this board to resolve that the preceding actions shall be completed before any road action on any cul-de-sac within Westfield Plantation. Reason for that, how much traffic do we have on the cul-de-sac? How much traffic we got on Rags Ferry? How much we got on Bull Place? Huh? You wanna put everything down and everybody go get a little pee-pee? We could do it. It'd be a hell of a number of cars going over these roads versus 6, 8 on the cul-de-sac.
Have you done any, you did, this, you blindsided me here, right? I'm not aware of any of
in
this.
conflict with our apologize for that.
Yeah, 'cause you could have met with me at any time and talked to me about this, but.
I don't get this over the weekend.
Okay.
I got tired every time we come here, we hear about how crappy the roads are over there. They're all paying the same fee, we're paying assessment fee every year as the people on Francis Park hundreds of people on cul-de-sacs. And I think those roads are atrocious and an embarrassment to the neighborhood. And we should be embarrassed over this board. Well, I spent the weekend over there, Terry.
Okay.
Looking at the roads, looking at this. Adam and I are thinking for that area.
Any further discussion?
And it was brought up that it was not just new, that when we had the motion for the dredging and the boat and everything like that, that motion there was also made to do the concave the road and everything like that, as long as before any other road project is done.
I do recall a discussion meeting that, and of course, the WPA, parking lot in place has obviously been discussed before. That's why I put it on unfinished business, but I don't know how that now, at this point, is
Yeah, I mean,
gonna
that's-
play into Gary's.
We have a conflicting motion on. the
Right,
floor.
exactly.
Is it possible that we could set up a meeting like tomorrow with you? Where we can kind of get together and
Yeah, but I don't think we can.
I don't know.
this.
schedule this.
We
thing
know what his
somehow.
finances are, but I'm
We
not,
don't know.
we gotta put some numbers to this thing to figure it out.
Right.
Well, we have to we do have a project that's ongoing, and that's gotta, the excavation work needs to get done before we pave it, but we need to be ready to pave it whenever that's done. I understand the immediacy of what we're trying to do, and we have talked about it a lot, but we also don't wanna have these, I understand we've had guys work up bids for these other jobs, and
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a certain amount of time that it takes to get that done, and then to go out there and define scope of work and everything. So,
I mean, but, okay, so
we possibly get bids to do what is required on the roads over there, compare the two bids and say, hey, would we rather go with project A instead of project B or something like that? Because, I mean, part of what Joe was saying there is helping the floodwater with drainage, so keeping it out of the condos and everything like that, which I think is a big precedence to help people for drainage that they're not flooding out every time.
but I mean, yeah, I mean,
Monstrous drainage.
this is the first I've heard of drainage problems over there, so. You know, this could have been brought up to me before. I mean, there's a certain amount of drainage problems everywhere in the neighborhood. And, you know, a lot of the drainage problems, you know, what we may maybe consider a drainage problem is standing water after a storm. And how long does that water stand? And if it's gone within a day or two, that's not a problem. That's typical.
okay, so here's what I.
How does that impact the road study?
These other roads.
I'm just looking for a different point of view perhaps to look at it. That we had a road study done and I talked with the report.
Yeah, I'm not sure, and yeah, I have the road study at home, you know, I can go back and look at it. I'm not sure that, all of the streets were considered in that, or that they showed up as needing work, or being in the target list. We went with, you know.
Including these roads that Joe brought up.
Yes. So, you know, when we looked at the study, we took the roads that were identified as being the most seriously compromised. So that's where we started. And that's the intention, is to move that way. And it's not to say that we're not gonna get to everything, it's just we gotta try and plan it out as a 5-year plan.
Okay, Madam Chair.
So, you know, I wasn't aware that there was an emergency, which is kind of like, this is almost.
Adam and I, when I had road, Adam and I were down there looking at it, so this is something new that's come up. This has been in a talking since February.
But that was never passed on to me.
Well, I think what would help is if we King and Coastal out here, and, I mean, this is not, I'm not negating your motion that you made, but we need to get somebody out here. Let's get the professional eyes on this. We do have a project that's going on over there. It's not like we're gonna be able to start a paving project immediately. Drainage wise, but we need to, the sooner we can get one of your guys out here, and we can go look at the situation we have on this road. That way we have our game plan, and if it's something we do in early 26, we can come up with a drainage fix in the meantime. That's what we met and looked at this week, and is how we can deal with the watershed currently. And those, I think that part of the infrastructure needs to get addressed before we pave it. We don't want to pave the road and then bring in it. So we try to marry these two things somehow.
So Joe, all right, so this is why the meeting on the second, this is a perfect example why it's important.
Yes.
I put 150,000 for the board to look at for 2026. Okay. The two of you probably should get together, come up with some numbers. I think the money's there. It's just, I don't know. I'm not clear. Is 150 going to be enough, or we're going to have to take some money from another pot? But you're going to have to.
Town roads at $686,000.
How much? What do you say?
I don't get a reserve, I don't see a reserve report here.
Yeah, you got it, I did, that's, my point is, that's not my point. My point is, my point is that you and Gary should get together, work out a number. If we have to make any adjustments in the allocations for 20, looks like this is probably going to be 26, I assume. So that the 150,000 I have in there for the board to consider is either it's enough or not enough, or we're going to have to make some adjustments. That's all.
Roads at 418,000.
Yeah, right.
I think it's enough to do what we told us last.
I got him covered at 210, but I need, it's like an auction here. I need to know what your number is going to be.
Right.
For 20, need that number, that's all. Just give me a number. And we can talk about it at the second.
Whenever you can reschedule something with you.
Sure.
Or with Jamie or one of the guys, and go over there and look at what we have over there, we get that number on the books, and comes out of what we're in next year's budget.
Whatever we gotta do.
All right, well, what are we doing with, Gary's motion for this?
Okay, we're out. Is it gonna be a problem here?
Well, to schedule somebody to do the work by the end of the year, if we don't tell them that we're approving it, it's, you're kicking the can down the road, and now that's potential, it's not gonna get done this year.
I mean, I think the money, you got enough money, no matter how you move it, to cover what you're saying. He's already got allocated 210. Your number, I don't know. We just gotta figure out what it is and make some adjustments within the allocation. Maybe fine. 150 may be fine, I think here, but that's what we gotta figure out. We're gonna have that discussion. Is there a flood coming? No. That's all we need. We can just, then at the September 2nd meeting, we either make some adjustments within the allocation reserves, up or down, or we're fine. That's all.
Maybe you can coordinate the two, that it would be one calendar, and that way they're not
There is some value in combining them, to, because they're not moving the equipment, there is, charges for that, so.
So should we?
We need a number.
So can we approve this as
But can we
phase one?
Yeah, well,
approve Gary's and then we'll,
Get the number
and
from.
then we can get, numbers from,
Yeah.
about the other.
See how quick we can get it back out here and make it.
Right. All right, so we got a motion and a second.
Motion and a second.
Call the question.
Okay. Yes, on Gary's motion for up to 210,000, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
But we need to have Joe and
Yes.
Gary get together and give us a number
Right.
Yeah, let's.
prior to the September 2nd meeting here. So I can,
As
I
soon
can,
as-
Joe.
as soon as-
Joe,
All right, so let's get a meeting together in the next couple of days.
Do you want to be involved in that too, Aaron?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The three of you.
You and Adam both.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, but they're looking to see to get you together too.
Yeah, the three of them.
Yeah,
Three of
three.
them. Yeah. Okay.
cool.
that's it. Okay, is anything else, Gary?
Also, I've been communicating with Jennifer Larmore about a safety issue with limbs and branches that are kind of extending out almost to the roadways.
Right.
And she was able to get a quote from Mark Howard for $2,100 to remove and dispose of the overgrowth on roadways. And the idea behind that is that it gets out, the limbs and the branches are getting out far enough that you can't see around the turns. And so people are moving out into the center of the road, and then all of a sudden you come around a turn and somebody else is in the center of the road, because they can't see. I walk the roads every day in the morning, and we get well off the street every time we hear a car coming, because there's been so many times when they come around and they swerve because they see us at the last minute. So $2,100, I make a motion that we approve that.
Second.
Discussion?
Where were the limbs?
It's really all over, I mean, but predominantly for me, I walk on Francis Parker every morning.
Gary, does the golf course own that lot way at the corner?
I believe that they do.
Captain Anthony,
And I'm
because
gonna,
that's a bad,
I'm gonna talk to them, because I'm gonna see if they're either wanna participate in it,
Yeah.
or, and in that case, that might reduce the cost, but I'm gonna talk to them. There's a couple of places where they might own the property, and we'll try and get that done.
Okay, that was, you made a comment about, it come out of your budget, but I wanna make sure it comes out of the right budget. If it's not yours, I want it to come out of yours. It should come out of PPE or landscape.
Well, it's kind of road safety, I guess, and so I don't necessarily have a problem with that. And I'm not sure if I have a miscellaneous one, but I think that there's.
no, Gary, you don't. But you're okay.
But we'll figure it out.
Okay, all right.
Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. Any opposed?
That's it, Mayor.
That's it, okay, thank you. What are amenities?
I got three things, start with dredging at the August 12th special meeting, the board approved the Brunswick dredge contract and the earthworks management contract. The dredger will arrive on site on the week to prepare for dredging from September to early spring 2026.
When are they gonna start?
Next week, start stage.
Yeah.
Once the dredger gets underway, I'm sorry. The dredger will have machinery located at the landing that will not block the use of the landing. It should remain open the entire time. However, once the dredger gets underway, there will be pipes in the canal that will not allow boat access. Water Amenities Committee will start contacting all canal owners over the next 2 weeks to inform them of the timing and projected location of the dredge relative to where they live. Boats will have to be removed and certain docks will have to be moved. In order to facilitate and help the dredger, we ask that if you are not able, please remove your dock or boat by the first week of September. The dredger will not be able to go under boat lifts and must stay 10 feet away from any boat. If your dock falls within the 10 feet, there is no need to move. Second thing I have, the boat landing docks. We submitted to the 5 and 10 year capital budget plan to replace both docks at the landing. We would like to budget for next year $40,000 to remove one of the current docks and gangway and replace it with a commercial grade aluminum dock and gangway. And that also would include replacing the top to make it higher so we don't have to worry about it when the water gets really high. These are commercial grades, so it should last a long time, probably at least 20 years. So we're just asking you to put that into your budget to consider for next year. And the last thing is the boat landing that was brought to our attention. Someone reported to the office that individuals have been seen using the breaker box at the landing to gain access. You can go in and cut the breaker and kill power and go to the gate. Upon investigation, we realized that the breaker box lock had been broken off. Ram Electric was contacted to see what could be done. Instead of replacing the box at a cost of $375, they were able to weld a new tab and lock the breaker box at a cost of $100. A reminder to all, there are 4 cameras located at the landing. Anyone trying to gain unlawful access will be prosecuted. July 21st, a scope of work was sent out to 5 contractors to clean up the landing area. The scope was added to add another load of dirt to the previous bulkhead repair, grade and seed. In addition, all of the concrete debris that's down there would be pushed to the edge of the parking lot, along the marsh, and grade down to the level. The 5 contractors that we sent the scope out to, live excavation with the lowest bid. I'll read the deal. Live oak was $2,850. Coastal excavating, $4,200. Confection landscaping, $4,750.
7 Cs.
7 Cs was how much?
3,500.
3,500. We'd like you to discuss and make a motion to take that into consideration to accept Live Oak's bid of $2,850.
I move that, contract be entered into with Live Oak Excavation to move the concrete slabs from the north side of the road and the landing on to the south side, so that we can extend the parking lot over future years. The Army Corps of Engineers said we can move 4 feet a year. There's concrete slabs we'll put in there for that purpose, but we have to put it on the wrong side of the road.
My second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
So,
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
That's one quick question for Adam.
yes.
With Live Oak being able to do this, are they going to be insurance, or we're going to have to shut the burn it down for like a day or something that they're down there, or?
he didn't say all that.
Okay.
I got a question for that. Is that gonna be it for 2025 and 28?
If not replace it,
20, and so I should put 40,000 for 20.
40,000. What we recommend is 40,000 next year and 40,000 fall.
Gotcha.
Okay, moving on, I think the unfinished business we've already discussed, which was the drainage, Daniel Morale, and the WPA parking lot, which will go in with your discussion. Okay, for new business, I do want to, we discussed establishing the long-range drainage planning committee, and I'd like to make a motion that we officially establish that committee. And I do have members for that committee already.
Sorry.
The members so far that we have are Vince Moravit, Gary Dreyer, Ralph Reifenauer, Adam Hall, and Bob Meltzer. So that's my motion to establish this committee. The long-range drainage planning committee with those right now 5 members.
Second.
Any discussion? Well, right now I am. But when the committee meets, they can choose chair. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so we got, yeah. Okay. Let's see, we already discussed the sinkholes, and what was the other report date? Did we discuss that?
Floodgate, is that the spillway to relief at the?
Well, that was at Joe's.
Daniel Morrow and Robert Conway.
The Indian retention pond.
Okay, all right. Now we have the first reading of the Code of Ethics and the social media policy.
Yeah, well.
It's done.
Well, it's part of the sequel. So we're doing that, we have to fix
I didn't get it either.
What's up, this?
I got the social media posts.
The code of ethics, there's people say that.
Thursday, cool.
Social media and code of conduct.
Cool.
I just have social media.
Madam Chair, the code of conduct is 2 pages because the second page was a signature page.
Oh, I
And a
can.
notary.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
that's okay. So this will be the first reading, and it will be posted on, both of these will be posted on the website. For any community residents to view and comment, or any input, and then we'll have the second reading in September. Any discussion regarding these?
I agree with that.
You'll have plenty of time.
Yeah, I'm okay with approving the first reading. I think for the future, we should start looking at adding fines into this. Just detail.
And that can be, yes, okay.
So this will apply to all 9 board members, those area chairman, even if not a board member, and everyone on any committee.
Yes.
What's the problem if they violate this?
Yeah, that's
That's
where
the
we
discussion.
need to add that before the next meeting.
You're gonna have this is the first.
Compliance,
So, you can't do first reading and it's good.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah,
we
we
can.
can review it and
We
make
can
changes.
review it and make changes before the second reading. Okay, well, I'm going to this first reading.
Fine.
Aye. Okay. Next is, request for a policy change regarding electronic meetings. That also needs to go through the process.
That wasn't what I asked for. I didn't ask for a policy change for electronic meetings. I said for us to approve electronic meetings until a policy is made.
But would be a policy change.
We already have, like I said in the email, we already have it available to us in Robert's rules and state law. So we're just gonna say, yes, we're gonna do it while we figure out all the different rules.
However, we do not have a policy regarding it, and we would need to create one. So that would be a policy change that would go through the requirements.
You got a camera,
Of this,
We're just saying we're gonna follow the rules.
we have a camera right there, right now, in our Bible, Article 7, Section 7 says,
well, I'm saying.
family
is,
members
I'm
can attend a
saying-
meeting. Anybody and their brother can sign on and see our meeting, so we're in violation of our policy by having that camera and everybody
So
can
if
see.
you're saying we're in violation of our policy regarding that, we can violate our policy regarding that.
We've done it for 3 years.
So then we should just throw a policy book and use 816
What do you-
pages of Robert's
I'm
rules.
not trying to muddy the waters here. I'm just saying that we don't need a policy. The policy is for setting the rules on how to do this. All we're doing is saying we're gonna do it.
And we
That's
can create a
nice.
policy.
Okay, Stan,
We attempted to do this last year. We had a board member not being able to attend a meeting, who was gonna call in, and as president, I said, I'll count it as present if you are able to say, acknowledge that you were there when we take attendance, and, that you be able to hear the meeting, so we attempted it. The problem was, the phone that was supposed to connect us was 20 minutes late to the meeting, and I wouldn't allow the person to vote. But the price I had to pay for that decision still haunts me.
Yeah, well, that's why.
That's because you don't have a policy.
Right.
It wasn't written. If I had written a memo, I would have been fine, but I was trying to be unanimous and kind and trying to get rid of it, but I needed a policy to allow a change like that in the meeting, you spawned me to look at my.
Right, me too.
But what I'm saying is, right now, the 3 years we've been doing it, we have not been a policy.
That's kind of.
No, but it's not, it's the same thing, because we've been doing it for 3 years, we should have a policy. We need to make a policy for that. We should be able to do this here and make a policy for this at the same time. I mean, if we've been doing that against policy,
You want to keep the rules so strict that the
I just want
rules,
to keep it, period.
the rules are, we create a policy.
Well, then turn the camera on.
First Street, all right, Robert, turn the
and
camera
we
on.
won't have a camera on any meeting until we make a policy.
We voted to allow you to do this.
That's right, we
You
did.
can vote to
The
allow
board
this to
voted.
happen.
That's a policy.
So why is that not?
I got your point.
Explain to me why that's not.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, I can tell you what I found in my book. All different kinds of electronic meetings,
Yes.
whatever. But the one sentence that I saw that I thought was really important is, it's important that you be able to see the face of the people that you're talking to.
Right.
And unless we, and I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But I would like to see, I assume, a computer out for each of us, so that in case we are in the Bahamas or maybe that's not a good place to be.
I copied the rules verbatim, so which one did you read, if you don't mind?
I mean, honestly, what Stan's saying, it doesn't need to be much, I mean, you could do a Facebook chat, and you can see a picture of video of who it is that you're talking to. And it won't cost anything except for 2 phones.
All right, I'm calling Al,
It says you need bills before you do it.
Al, you have something?
Board, if you would look at Title 33, Chapter 31, Section 820, Item I, it requires that all participants for this meeting that you want to have electronically have to be able to engage simultaneously. So if you have 2 members that are somewhere else, you have to have some method where you can all see and talk at the same time.
Yes, so I did include that in my proposal, that if we were to pass it, with my job, I have teleconference and video conference capabilities. I would donate those whenever I'm here or even away, it doesn't matter. I can set up that bridge and everybody can join as they need to.
As Stan said, the book says we need to create a policy. That's all I'm
That's
asking,
fine.
is
Yeah,
we
that's
need to
fine.
create a policy.
I'm not in a huge rush on this one,
Oh, well,
but I would love to get this taken care of because everybody tries to get it done and no one ever actually does it.
and create a policy.
Would you like to draft that policy, please?
There's some in this book, so
And
yeah.
I think draft a
So that it doesn't say
policy,
Robert's rules, it says WPA.
draft a
And have that
policy,
for us at our meeting, not 9/2, but 4/16.
present it to the legal committee, and we can have a first reading and do the requirements. Put it on the website and have a second reading in October. So, I would.
We'll table it, how's that? I'm moving.
Okay,
There was no table.
We'll table it and come up
Put
with
it
a
up
policy.
as small business. But I did want to refer this to the legal committee, so after I know it, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, good. All right, I think that's it. If you, no, that's okay. If the board would like to sit here for a few minutes, for anyone in the audience, once we adjourn, for anyone in the audience, for any comments or questions. That's okay. Move to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Does anyone have a comment or question? Georgianne?
So Al DeMarkey, as the chairperson for the document review committee, spoke on his proposal for the first reading of Code of Ethics and the social media policy, which was submitted to him by Jonathan Rutstein. Both of those policies,
I didn't say that. Never said that.
they were.
No, they weren't.
Okay, well, whoever they were sent to him by, it was not part of the document committee. It was, we did not meet regarding those proposed policy changes or implementation of policies. He took that upon himself, self-appointed to propose those policies.
No, it was the legal committee, and actually.
He reported on that as part of the document committee chairperson.
Okay. All right. Is anyone else? Go ahead, Jill.
Welcome back.
The legal
You don't
meeting.
hand out the bylaws.
On that as
Yes.
part of the
Hard
document
copy,
committee
yes.
chairperson.
Okay, because is that new? Because I've talked to a lot of people, they said they have a problem. So, is this something new with you, Cindy, or is it always been
Ever
that?
since I've been board welcoming, we've put a hard copy of the bylaws and covenants in there.
Okay, great, good to know. I have another question.
Yes.
Okay, so the last time Al was here, he talked about lots of changes for the bylaws. Can he reiterate when there was gonna be some workshops, talking about it, chewing it over? When is that happening?
Everything's gonna be in the annual packet that you will receive, and we did talk about the town hall.
No, we were gonna get together and talk about the bylaw changes. You were gonna have a meeting for bylaw changes. Now you're just saying it's going to be in your packet?
It is, and then once you can review them, we can have a town hall.
Okay,
Unless you want to understand,
so does
what's your
the,
feeling on that, Al?
Well, that should be posted on the internet, on our website right now.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay,
there you are.
Then we're gonna have a town hall meeting, okay,
yes.
where everyone will be able to question the changes, okay? As I pointed out, the first 61 are simply minor changes that do not affect the functionality of the bylaws, okay? The other 4 or 5 that are on there, okay, do have some effect, okay? And need to be considered seriously. And then covenant 26 is probably the most significant thing that we need to look at as a community.
So when would you like to schedule a town hall for that?
I would think the town hall should be sometime in early October.
After the packets have been received by everybody, so meetings.
Well, they can read it, it should be posted on the internet, that's why I provided copies.
Isn't it already on the internet? Did you just say it's already on the internet?
It should be though.
Yeah, I'll double check.
So all the proposed changes are on the, including no responsibility for dredging for the
Whatever
future of the
change,
WPA
whatever
is
the
also
proposed
on
changes
that.
are, will be.
Is it possible that we can have a copy of the changes here, so that somebody wants to, they can come up here and they can pick it up?
Robert has a document, okay?
So then then after the town hall meeting, does the board need to vote on if in fact it is part of the November meeting? Do you all have final say of what bylaw proposals, or is it just out there because somebody in good standing wants something? Or do you guys have to bless it for it to make it pass?
Those were submitted and they went to the legal committee. And the legal committee, and then they go to the board attorney, and that determines whether or not they go on the ballot.
But then do you all get that information and then you vote on it?
We don't
So
vote.
our representatives don't have the choice to be
because-
able to weigh in on that. Is that what we're saying?
Because the community gets the choice. That's the whole point, is the community gets.
But it has to at least pass certain standards for it
Right,
to be even
right.
addressed. So are you guys sitting on your hands on that?
No,
Mr. Eagle?
because if the board voted, said, legal said yes, the attorney says yes, and the board says no, that would look like the board
Okay.
is
I
acting
just want
bad.
to know exactly how
The
this is going on.
community itself is the one that.
Because we have, this is a huge deal, what is trying to be done to the bylaws. And therefore, I would like to have information way ahead of time when this town hall is going to be.
You'll have it. We'll
Well,
schedule
it's
the
right
town
around the
report
corner.
about October. Cindy.
So, I'm gonna ask a question, while I'm sorting out, what's going on with Blaine?
None of your business.
Yeah.
It's a private matter between a member of this community and the ARC. And it's also a private matter within the board.
Okay.
And the fact that anybody outside of this board knows about it is a violation of the code of ethics that we have right now.
No, it's.
Yes.
No, it's
Yes.
not.
Because it was only discussed in executive session or amongst, board members, in
It
email.
was,
So that means it was leaked by a board member outside of it.
Yes.
as Stan had said, he's, from November, multiple people have known about it. All of the people in Park have known about it.
It's a private member matter. We're not supposed to discuss that in public.
We should, yes.
I asked to speak a week ago,
Yes.
and it's not right.
The way y'all is talking to each other is unacceptable. Part of your code of ethics, y'all shouldn't talk to each other like that. Just in your ethics, are there gonna be steps? If you do this happens, repercussions, consequences, or are people just gonna cuss people out and move on?
Just, or break the rules and talk if you're not allowed to.
Yes.
Like you.
And then,
I mean, I think,
So
so we don't
it's
see,
your turn to speak. You have your.
I asked a week ago,
Yes.
we don't see what you see. I don't know if it's just a draft or something, or if there are actual steps. You don't do this, you don't do this, and if you do this, there are consequences. I don't know, because we don't see it.
There's code of decorum that we should have.
Well, we haven't, for sure.
Oh, that, yeah, and
Well,
At a business
everybody is guilty of that.
at a business meeting, which is what this is for the board of directors, it's a director's meeting.
Yes.
We are meeting, you guys are just witnesses. You're not supposed to be talking during the meeting. That's why she
Wait,
does.
this is after the meeting.
Yeah, this is, yeah, we're after the meeting. That's why this is okay. That's why. I
That's
asked
why
for
it's
the
okay
meeting.
to yell at people?
No, still need to.
I'm talking about general common courtesy towards people. The screaming, the yelling, the cussing, just.
What meeting you been on?
July for one. Okay, and my other comment was
Okay.
going to be, again, on the conflict of interest. A perceived conflict of interest exists when a situation could reasonably be seen as compromising someone's objectivity or impartiality. You should have a discussion about it, there should be full disclosure. If need be, you should recuse yourself, and if not, then you should be removed. If you don't think that having deep water access in your backyard is a conflict of interest, then there's a problem with the judgment.
So I'll address that myself.
Okay.
So one, the judge said there's no conflict of interest. He said that in
You
2014.
have-
That's what our legal committee also said. Our attorney said there's no conflict. And it is my job as a board member to make sure that everyone else has their property values, kept at a certain level. Once they start going down, I have now failed my fiduciary duty. I have to vote on that.
Conflicts of interest lead to questions of the board's integrity, loss of trust, doubt on decisions, and could lead to legal action. That's
There
it.
was a legal action in 2014 and they said
I'd be
it's okay.
surprised if somebody doesn't sue just because.
They did in 2014.
I'm not talking about your hands right now. I don't
And
care,
there's
that's it, I made a
other
statement, I'm done. It's not.
It's the fact that you don't want to
Can
listen,
I
that's the
respond?
problem.
Go ahead.
I just.
This isn't just for me, it's for everybody
I told
else.
everybody to.
Let them speak.
Yeah.
Thank
you, Marilyn.
Everybody else is speaking, I can't do that.
Thank you.
Our
It's legal, there's no conflict. Judges, the attorneys, everybody agrees except for you and her.
No, I'm sure there's no right.
Mark has the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. I've got a question for Al regarding the changes. Do you have you have all the changes on the website now? The grammatical changes that you have proposed, are they red lines so that we can see what the wording was and what the new wording is?
Yes.
Okay. The proposed amendments to the bylaws, are they up there?
Wait, I did not propose any policy changes, okay? Everything that is supposed to be on, I'm going to make sure that it gets posted on the internet, okay? I thought this was going to happen after I presented it last month, okay? I file my reports and I file all the documentation with the office here. What I proposed, okay, through the legal committee, through the PRC committee, okay, approval with the attorney was 61 minor changes. It did not affect the functioning of those particular bylaws.
The grammatical change.
Yes, okay, misspellings, things like that.
All right.
The subsequent changes, okay, are identified, okay, as being significant or minor or whatever. And each one, the first 61 are voted on as a block. Okay, we're not gonna have 61 different items on there. The balance of them are voted on individually, okay? Some have to do with mandatory attendance by the board, okay?
Did they have their policy changes? They're
Sure,
not
policy
new
changes.
policies.
No, there are two new policies. The mandatory attendance by board members is a new policy.
All right.
Okay, one is an enumeration of what's already in there, but is for clarification purposes, okay? The one that I hate to mention, okay, is the dredging bylaw change, okay?
Okay.
Which was submitted by a member in good standing, okay, reviewed by the attorney and the legal committee, and there was nothing that we could do. You cannot say, Mark, you can't do that, you wanna change the office code, you can't do that. Okay.
I'm not fighting.
No, what I'm saying is we can't.
So you've got the group, the block of
Yeah,
61
yeah.
that are primarily grammatical
Yeah.
changes that are redlined that actually show the changes.
Yes.
Then you've got two new policies and they're labeled, I'm sure, new policies, correct?
No.
Oh, this is, I just wrote across top Article 5 because I had to go find it in my book.
Okay,
So
so
this is
we,
changing, section 5 under Article 5. And we have some new language under section 4. Provided, however, no assessment funds shall be used for canal dredging or for the original construction of blah, blah, blah.
that's under Article 5.
Yeah, that was the change to the dredging was submitted.
How's someone gonna know where to find that and how to find it?
You mean on the internet?
Well, the internet would be a good thing, but it should be somewhere in there that it's highlighted.
Well, I wish I had brought all my documentation.
And what I'm saying, Al, is are you gonna have footnotes or reference page for everything you put up? So it's clear and detailed,
Yeah,
that
I agree with
everybody
you.
knows.
Here's what I did. The entire bylaws, okay, are printed out, okay? Those changes that are on there are noted in either red or green. And then there's an attachment page, which I think is 3 pages long, that goes through each item, section by section, article by article, and it says, delete the word apartment
Okay,
from
I've
section
got
so,
that.
okay, right on down the line. So there's 3 pages of that, which we can post that to the people who want to read all the bylaws and those
I
itemized.
think the comparative of what was there and what you're proposing and what's added needs to be there for the community to.
It is
Because it's
explicitly clear, the proposed changes in that document is explicitly clear. And I will hand that to Al, that he did a very good job at doing that.
Who
was on the committee though?
Myself, at one time Dan Menahy, Georgianne, Cindy Fry, Bob Garrett.
Now, so, point of order on that, Rick.
Pardon me?
You know, you've got 5 people on the committee that are wholly anti-Brexit, like viciously anti-Brexit.
Whoa.
We didn't submit that.
That's true.
We didn't make those.
I have supported the canals financially since I've lived here for 20 years. So don't say that we are all against it, okay? The dredging issue was not proposed by anybody on the document review committee.
Okay. So
No, it was not.
So there's something with such a massive impact, right? We're talking many years down the road, right?
Yeah.
Does that not need to be explained to people, what you're actually voting for? Is that going to be in the packet? You know, if you vote for this by
Well,
name,
that's
this
part
is
of
what's
the
going to
thing.
happen.
That's why we have a town hall. And that particular item was submitted by a member in good standing, went through the legal committee, went through the board attorney.
Sure.
There was no reason that it could be excluded
Oh, no,
except by
I agree with
people,
you. I believe it.
except by people who live on the
It's
canals.
just the impact of things, people may not want. That's all.
People on the canal.
Would object to it.
You said excluded.
That's for a flood. And the canals are.
There are a lot of people who live on the canals that are in favor of dredging, and would not have it.
When can I put a thing into the bylaws? When is the
Next
due
year.
date? No,
August
is it
1st.
closed? Is it
August
closed?
Oh, yeah, it's in your
When was
policy.
that closed?
It's in your policy, has to be submitted by August 1st.
Yeah, do you advertise, since apparently a lot of people, do we advertise that there's a date by which if you want to put in a bylaw change, do it by this date? Because I don't remember seeing that. Apparently people on the board are aware of it, so they can put in their request. But,
There are other members.
but is it advertised that people outside the board might be able to counter with their own suggestions for bylaws? Because this date of the finding out it's closed is news to us. But apparently some people have privy to it and are able to do it.
It's in the bylaws and covenants.
So Jill, all you have to do is vote against.
Speaking to you.
Stan, one last comment, Stan.
It was, I announced it March, April, May, June, July, and August, right up to the deadline, every board meeting, I
You
told
say that there's
announced
a bylaw
that any
deadline.
other deadline. before we
Start sitting by the wall like.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going. You go. You go. You go.